Revenge is a dish best served cold, or, if you're Travis Kelce, in front of a sea of cameras, reporters, and the international press. The Kansas City Chiefs tight end, never one to shy away from a spotlight or a joke, decided that if he was going to clap back at his quarterback and friend, Patrick Mahomes, he'd do it with the entire world watching. What unfolded in São Paulo, Brazil, wasn't just a playful jab between teammates. It was a masterclass in timing, camaraderie, and the ever-entertaining circus that is the NFL off the field. The setup for this light-hearted revenge began innocently enough. Mahomes, in what seemed like just another media scrum, decided to poke fun at Kelce's sense of direction, or lack thereof. Some guys didn't understand how far the travel was. Travis, even though he was just down there last year, I was explaining to him how the globe works, Mahomes quipped, sending a ripple of laughter through the room. It was the kind of inside joke that only teammates who have spent years together, who have sweat and bled on the same fields, can share without any malice. But Kelce, ever the showman, bided his time. He waited until the cameras were flashing, the microphones were live, and the stakes, at least in the world of media banter, were high. When Mahomes began to answer a question, Kelce seized his moment. He leaned in, channeling his best version of Mahomes' famously unique voice, and delivered a pitch-perfect impression. Oh man, it was crazy. It was a lot of fun seeing all the fans there, Kelce said, mimicking Mahomes with exaggerated enthusiasm, drawing roars of laughter from the assembled media. Then, with a sly grin, Kelce dropped the punchline. He had that one coming for telling everybody I didn't know where Brazil was on a map. For anyone who's ever been on the receiving end of a friend's public ribbing, Kelce's move was both relatable and satisfying. It was a reminder that professional athletes, despite the millions of dollars and the endless scrutiny, are still just people, friends with inside jokes, with grudges that last just long enough to be funny, with the same need to set the record straight in the most dramatic way possible. But the theatrics didn't end there. If Kelce's revenge was the appetizer, the next course was even juicier, and it involved none other than global superstar Taylor Swift. During the same press conference, a reporter, perhaps flustered by the presence of two of the NFL's biggest stars, or maybe just behind on their pop culture news, posed a question to Kelce. They asked if his off-field activities, particularly dating Taylor Swift, might be proving a distraction as he entered his 13th NFL season. Before Kelce could even begin to answer, Mahomes jumped in, correcting the reporter in the most public way possible, engaged. In that moment, the entire room erupted into laughter. Kelce, never one to miss a comedic beat, doubled down. "Yeah, I got one more ring from it," he joked, alluding not just to his Super Bowl rings but now to his engagement ring, a prize of a very different kind. But as the laughter faded, Kelce shifted gears. "Ever since I've been dating Taylor, life has been fun. It's been exciting. Obviously, there's a lot more eyes on me and I accept that, but I'm living life and living on a high, I guess." It was a rare moment of candor from the NFL star, who has spent the past 2 years under the relentless gaze not just of sports media, but of Swifties around the world. The Kelce-Swift romance has been, in many ways, a fairy tale written in real time. When the couple announced their engagement just last week, the internet exploded. Memes, GIFs, and breathless headlines dominated social media. Sports fans and music fans alike found themselves invested in a love story that seemed almost too cinematic to be true. The image of Kelce, down on one knee, ring in hand, proposing to one of the world's most famous women, felt like an improbable crossover episode. NFL meets Billboard Hot 100. Earlier this week, Kelce reflected on the whirlwind of his proposal. On his podcast with his brother Jason, he shared, "I appreciate everybody that reached out and sent something in all the posts, all the excitement that's been going on. It's been really fun telling everybody who I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with. It's easy to see why the world is captivated." In the age of carefully curated social media personas and PR-driven soundbites, Kelce and Mahomes offer something refreshingly authentic. Their friendship is real, built on years of shared victories and defeats, road trips and locker room jokes. Their willingness to poke fun at each other, even in front of millions, speaks to a bond that goes beyond the game. And then there's the Swift factor. Taylor Swift's presence in the NFL world has been nothing short of a cultural phenomenon. The league, always hungry for new audiences, has leaned into the Swiftie invasion with open arms. Swift's appearances at Chiefs games have been meticulously documented, her reactions to Kelce's touchdowns instantly becoming viral moments. For Kelce, the attention has been both exhilarating and surreal. In interviews, he's spoken candidly about the joys and challenges of living life in the spotlight's brightest glare. "There's a lot more eyes on me," he admitted, "but I'm living life and living on a high, I guess." It's a sentiment anyone who's ever been in love can relate to, no matter how many cameras are watching. But if there's one thing that this saga makes clear, it's that the real story isn't just about romance or revenge. It's about friendship, the kind that can survive the pressures of fame, the brutality of professional sports, and the madness of internet virality. Mahomes and Kelce, despite their superstar status, still find time to prank each other, to laugh together, to remind each other, and the rest of us, not to take life too seriously. As the Chiefs prepare to take on the Los Angeles Chargers in São Paulo, the media circus followed their every move. But for a brief moment, the world got to see a different side of these athletes, a side that isn't always visible on Sunday afternoons. We saw the jokers, the friends, the men who, despite everything, haven't lost their sense of fun. And that's the magic of sports, isn't it? Beyond the stats and the scores, the trophies and the headlines, it's about human moments. The laughter in a press room halfway around the world. The nervous energy of a proposal. The inside jokes that make even the most famous feel like regular guys. Kelce's revenge may have been served cold, but it was all in good fun. A reminder that the best stories aren't always about what happens on the field, but about what happens when the cameras are rolling and the guard is down. As for what comes next, another Super Bowl ring, another viral moment, or maybe just another unforgettable joke, one thing is certain. With Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, you never quite know what to expect, but you always know it'll be worth watching. So, as fans from Kansas City to São Paulo and everywhere in between tuned in, they weren't just watching football. They were watching a story unfold, a story about friendship, love, and the little acts of revenge that keep life interesting. And as long as these two are in the spotlight, you can bet the world will keep watching, waiting for the next punchline, the next proposal, the next unforgettable moment. Because when sports and pop culture collide, the result is pure entertainment, a show we can't help but want to see again and again.